It was one of the days in the autumn that I had a trip to Zahedan and had gone to Mecca Mosque for noon prayer. Afterwards, I was sitting in the mosque when one of the Hanafi brothers, who was from Torbajan and was studying in Mecca Mosque, came to me and asked, "Where are you from?" "Kurdistan." "Are you Sunni?" "Yes, a follower of Imam Shafi." Then each of us introduced ourselves. After that, he invited me to his house and said that he had already gone to Kurdistan to preach. Therefore, he asked about some of Sunni clergies of Kurdistan and said, "I know most of them and I have been with them." I told this religious brother that I have been researching the Shia religion for some time and I would like to get to know their customs. The Hanafi student said, "What happened that you have left all these religions and sects and want to study the Shia? Time is money, so why do you want to waste it? Instead of this useless work, study science and worship, because our elders all hate the Shia, so we must follow them." Then he asked a question that sparked my curiosity. He said, "If the Shia is right, why is it in the minority?" That day, I didn't have an answer for the Sunni brother. But after 3 years of research, now I know why the Shiites who are in a minority claim to be right. In response to that brother Talabe and others who are concerned about this ambiguity, I must say, the knowledge of the right and wrong does not depend on the number of followers. Majority is never a sign of righteousness. The Holy Quran has often condemned majorities and praised some minorities. You will not find most of them to be grateful, and few of my servants are grateful. Among them, some are faithful, but most of them are transgressors. Fabricate lies against Allah, and most of them do not exercise their minds. Most of them are ignorant, and most of them are faithless. But most of them do not know the truth, and so they are disregardful. And most of them are averse to the truth, but most of them do not have faith. Therefore, according to these numerous verses, we can conclude that a person should not consider the majority as a criterion to know the issues and facts, but should give priority to the right, not the majority, because the majority has not acted according to the right, except in rare cases. The more I went forward, instead of imitating the principles of religion and following the fathers and fellowship of ignorant people, I made a more determined effort to be a justice seeker and fascinated by truth until I found true happiness, because believers in Allah are wisdom-seeking. During the year, we received some Hanafi missionaries who came to mosque in different places such as Zahedan and other cities of Sistan and Balochistan province, and most of the young people stayed up all night, and those missionaries brought gifts and awards to encourage them to participate in discussions and trainings, and whoever learned quickly received a prize, and these prizes attracted the youth and teenagers most to their discussions. In one of those nights, I decided to spend the night in the mosque with my friends and make good use of the presence of missionaries. A number of friends started asking questions about Imam Abu Hanifa's opinion on evolution or the differences between the evolution of the Shafi'i and the Hanafis, until I also asked a question, which was one of the first sparks created in my mind and led me to start researching about the Shia. And that question was, who is Imam Zaman? And is Mahdi that the Shiites say is true? But Unfortunately, in my answer, I heard any kind of insult to this honorable Imam, except the answer to my question. And finally, I heard a false and absurd reason for my question. If there is an Imam of the time or a reformer in the end of the time, it is Jesus, Mary's son. I was asked not to occupy my mind with these useless questions. Although my question still remained unanswered, I refrained from asking any more questions until the discussion was over. At that moment, one of the missionaries said, "Brothers, get up, go and do ablutions, and each of you should devote yourself to worship and read the Quran in a corner. There is not much time left for the morning call to prayer." I also started reading the Quran, and after reciting the verses, I felt quite tired, so I put the Quran aside and I leaned my head against the wall in a sitting position and went to sleep. Then I had a dream. I woke up with the sound of the muezzin and went to renew ablution. I thought I went to sleep thinking who Imam Zaman is. So I had that dream, and it was totally created by my own mind. After praying, I said goodbye to my friends and the missionaries and returned home. Because I had hardly slept last night, lack of sleep and fatigue overcame me, so I went to the bedroom to rest for several hours. But to my great surprise, I had the same dream. Since I didn't have complete faith then, I didn't take it seriously until I spontaneously started studying sources of the Shia. After that, I had a sincere belief in this ground. I kept thinking that God, who has given Hazrat Khidr and Jesus an eternal life, cannot do the same for the son of Muhammad, the last prophet and the most honorable being. This is definitely easy for him. Soon after, I went on a trip to Tehran for a few days, and after staying for 2 days, I went to Qom and I visited the shrine of Hazrat Masumeh there. I was watching people from a distance. Some of them were praying with prayer books in their hands, and they were crying. I used to look at them with a strange vision, and sometimes I would try not to laugh and think how gullible they are. And no matter how hard I tried to kiss the shrine, since fierce pride and blind prejudice clouded my vision, I couldn't. Then I entered the shrine to visit the courtyard and porticos and see the graves there. I saw a grave where people were reciting Fatiha. I went forward and saw a grave which was several centimeters higher than the ground. It seemed to me that I had previously been there. All of a sudden, a photo caught my attention. His face seemed so familiar to me. He was very impressive. After a short while, I recognized the man. He was alongside with the young, dazzling man that I vaguely saw his face in my dream. At the end, the dazzling young man said to this person, "Let's go to Mr. Burjardi." That moment awoke an unexpected confusion towards me. I entered the shrine and saw some students discussing with each other, and this scene was interesting to me. I went closer and, with their permission, I sat in front of them and listened to their lively discussions. After half an hour, they ended their discussion with salawat. It was there that one of them asked me, "Where are you from?" I answered, "Kurdistan." He asked, "Are you one of the Sunni brothers?" I said, "Yes." Then I noticed, contrary to my expectations and beliefs that I held, they treated me like one of the family. One of them asked, "Which Sunni sect do you belong to?" I said, "Shafi." The student said, "Yes, Imam Shafi was a smart and knowledgeable person." I said, Don't you insult and curse our leaders? They said, no, we respect someone who loves al-Bayt, and Imam Shafi was also a lover of al-Bayt. One of them asked in surprise, why should we disrespect the Holy Quran? Then he took out the Quran from his pocket and opened Surah Nur and showed it to me. Yes, the Quran was intact. The subject was getting clear moment to moment. He asked again, aren't you cursing the Rashidun caliphs? In response, they said, we do not curse anyone, but we curse the oppressors, liars, and usurpers whom God has cursed in the Quran. Then one of them turned to me and said, my dear, these lies and superstitions are woven only by hypocrites and enemies of Islam to destroy unity, solidarity, and brotherhood among Muslims. At this moment, one of the students said, we want to go to Jamkaran Mosque. Do you want to come with us? Where is there? It is a holy place. After thinking for a while, I said to myself that maybe they want to kill me or hit me and 1,000 other thoughts. But I could see that these people have the light and love of Muhammad in their faces, and they are not people of such a bigoted and ignorant one.